Welcome, violin players. Welcome to the violin case. We are going on to page 4, and this week we're going to talk a little bit about rhythms. So we learned about quarter notes last lesson. There's also half notes, whole notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and 32nd notes. And they all are related to each other. So a quarter note we learned in 4/4 gets one count. So there'll be 4 of those in each measure. If we take a quarter note and we make it twice as long, so it takes up twice as much time, we get a half note. So a half note takes 2 counts, and so there will be 2 half notes in each measure. A whole note, or a 4/4 note, gets 4 whole counts, so there'll just be 1 of those in each measure. An eighth note is a half of a count, or half of a quarter note. A 16th note is a half of an eighth note, so it's twice. There's 2 in each one, or they're twice as short, 2 times shorter. That doesn't make sense, but they're half as long. There we go, as an eighth note. And we have a thing called counting. So you can count as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 te, 2 te, 3 te, 4 te. 1 ta, te ta, 2 ta, te ta, 3 ta, te ta, 4 ta, te ta on the 16th notes. And then on the 32nd notes, which are half as long again as the 16th notes, 1 ta ta, te ta ta, 1, 2 ta ta, te ta ta. Now there's different ways to count. You may have heard 1 and 2 and that's fine as well. However you do it, it's just important that you count and that count is even. Then I want you to spend a little bit of time down here and find out about how all of these relate to each other by answering some questions. So for example, number 1, how many half notes in a whole note? Then look up here. You know that a whole note, each one of these lines is just one measure. So the amount of time for all of this is exactly the same amount of time as this measure. So this amount of time for a whole note is this amount of time for half notes, and there will be 2 half notes that make the same amount of time as a whole note. So I want you to take a little bit of time. We'll do a done and dusted video on this one as well. So this is just about rhythms and how music is related to each other in a mathematical sense. And this will help you as you get learning different rhythms and things. So let's take then a moment and we're going to look at page 5. And page 5 is going to introduce your bow to you. And there's a couple of concepts. We see the little triangle pointing down and the V pointing up. Down is a down bow symbol. Up is an up bow symbol. So today we're going to actually introduce the beginning of our bow hold and our bow pull. So the top line, the top space, is your E, and you know that that's your top open string. And you have those 2 symbols written above these notes. We're going to make the bow lazy. It doesn't leave the string, it stays on the string. So the first thing I want you to do is, you've got your violin on your knee, you're going to rotate your wrist, bring it back to your body in a neutral position. Get your setup, make sure you can hold it with your chin and your shoulder, with your shoulder rest. And then you can let this arm rest here. This is where your knee kind of can get in the way. And depending upon how you play, I know when I'm in an orchestra, it depends upon how much room we have between each other, but you probably have the bow either coming down, or you have your legs off to the sides. It depends upon what you're wearing as well, but coming down in between your knees is a good way to play. The other way, it twists your back just a little bit, so you want to be careful, but it's coming down off to the side, which is very fine as well. So, bow hold. I've been kind of showing you a little bit about that bow hold just surreptitiously, but with the violin, this little guy, little finger, spies up on top. So your bow is actually held by your violin, and your arm and your hand just pulls it back and forth. So you want to make sure all your joints are nice and round and that they aren't locked. So if you set your bow on the string, and we'll put our violins down here for a minute. Take your left hand and hold the bow like this. Let your fingers rest over. So you want kind of the bow to sit a little bit on the flat part, right in between this joint, this middle joint of your finger. Set that on there, and your fingers, you want to have them relaxed, no stress, not close together, not far apart, just relaxed. We have a little bit of space in our fingers when they're relaxed. And then set that bow stick there, and then there's usually a little bit of a space on the frog right here where your thumb can go, and you want your thumb to be round and relaxed. No banana thumbs, no grabbing of the bow, no clap stuff. I know that sometimes beginning students will start like this. I think if you're ready to go, do this one, then you won't have to relearn a bow hold later. Make sure there's a roundness here, and then everything is nice and relaxed. Rotate just a little bit so that little finger can be up on top. That makes it so that you can go down and up pretty easily. So little finger goes up on top. Sometimes I call the spy guy. He likes to spy around. Thumb here, thumb there, bow stick just a little bit beyond that middle joint in your finger, and then everything open and round here. Just make sure that's all good and open right there and very relaxed. So if I hold it here, then you can be super relaxed. If you're trying to hold it in your hand, it's a little bit more difficult. So basic bow hold, relaxed. You're not holding the bow, the instrument is. Let's get your position. I need to adjust the shoulder rest so bad, and I'm wondering if I have the wrong shoulder rest or something from another instrument, because this one just is not comfortable at all. Okay, so you've set up your bow hold. You've got your position. Relax. Then this neutral, same position that you had when you pizzicatoed, you're going to have a neutral position, and then we're just going to set the bow on the E string, and we're going to go. So see what you can do. Don't worry about rhythms right now. I just want you to set the bow on the string. If you get that sound, which is not uncommon, you're too much weight on your bow hand, lighten up or pull a little faster. It's either too much weight or it's too heavy. On the string, you're letting your arm be a little too heavy into the string or not fast enough. So you're working to get a good tone all the way. Just on the E string. See if you can just get the E string to play. And if you get that kind of a sound, you're too far out on your fingerboard, you want to play, get within an inch or so of your bridge, then go, let's try this rhythm. So we're going to go 1, 2. So the first part of the bow is your elbow moving, your shoulder moving, and then your elbow takes over. So we're going to play parallel to the bridge, and in order to do that, the first part of your bow, the frog, the shoulder moves, then your elbow takes over. And that allows your bow to be parallel to the bridge. So let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, E. 2, 3, 4, then up bow. And if you notice that you're clicking the other string like I just did, then you're kind of jumping your elbow too much to the other string. There's only a little bit of distance there before you hit the edge of the instrument end or the other string. So we have to get really good about these planes that we're playing on. Gosh, this is, next video I'll make sure that I have something different with